Hey everybody, and welcome back to another live stream here coming from the Sydney Summit. We are amongst the community of lots of different groups and teams and partners and customers and AWS folks. I'm Pete Stansky. I run a solution architecture team here in Australia and New Zealand. I have Chris Howard.
I run the solutions architecture team in the territory here in New South Wales out of Sydney.
And I'm super excited to have our guest here, and that's Aileen, who's the CEO of a very cool company. But tell us about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely, welcome everybody, and it's great to be back on stage with two great folks. So my name is Aileen Gemma Smith. I am the CEO of Vislytics Technology, but I'm also here and very proud to say I am an AWS Community Hero.
Shine.
And for those of you who are wondering what on earth is this, we are the few, we are the rare. There are 80 heroes worldwide. 10% of us are women, and what we do is we act as evangelists for AWS, saying here are amazing things that are happening, and we all work really hard to try to build community and to share all the great things that are happening with AWS.
I have one big question. How heavy? That looks like 24 karat gold, and it must be like a ton.
Like Mr. T.
Mr. T, yeah.
Ms. T.
Yeah.
Ms. T, Ms. T. Hey, so listen, Aileen, tell us a little bit about how you got into tech, because we've had lots of folks like you.
Yep.
Last year, you joined us on stage, you
Yep.
talked about your career evolution. How did you get into tech? What planets had to align for you to fall into our technology business? And being a CEO is an awesome role.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm one of those fiercely curious, gotta figure it out, I need to learn things, I need to understand things. I actually graduated from university as an English major.
Wow.
And I would like to say
Arts
that...
majors.
There you go. But I would like to say that that is part of why I'm able to do what I'm able to do technically, because you have to think about dissembling knowledge and putting things together. And for a lot of work that we do with graph databases, if you want to understand contextual insight, and you think about how you assemble stories, how you assemble sentences, it's actually the same kind of mental model.
Great.
So I love to talk to folks on their journey in tech when we think about community and saying, you can start from anywhere.
Yep.
Are you curious? Do you love to solve problems? Do you want to figure out how to build things? Guess what? You can, and guess what? AWS makes it really, really easy to do that, to just try and play and do things.
Awesome. So you mentioned about 3 cool buzzwords for me that just my senses went off. First of all,
Yes.
diversity. Okay, so you talked about we don't have enough women around.
10%?
10%, that's not exactly the biggest number, right? But so I know you're heavily involved in the community around She Hacks. Tell everybody.
She builds.
So she builds.
She
Tell
also
us-
hacks.
And she hacks. She hacks, she builds,
Yeah.
just both. Tell us a little bit about how you got started, got inspired to do those things, because starting communities is a significantly huge amount of effort.
Absolutely, and I take significant responsibility that as the only female hero in ANZ, I have an obligation and a responsibility to everyone out there to say, how can we build the most diverse and inclusive communities there are?
Totally.
Because if women don't see other women as leaders, as technical founders, then suddenly it's, well, do I really belong there? Who else is in my tribe?
Right.
So the more that we can say, you can start from anywhere, the more that we can show folks with different faces, different ages, different backgrounds, yes, you can be a part of this because this ecosystem is welcoming, and you know what? We need all of those different skill sets. We need those different kinds of philosophies
Totally.
to think about how you're solving
And
problems.
we did some events recently for
Oh,
She Builds with
absolutely.
all women speakers too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We held 2 events in March in Sydney and in Melbourne. We're looking forward to doing more of them, and if I may,
Yes.
for those of you who weren't able to attend our She Builds on AWS events, guess what? We've got a She Builds on AWS Slack group. I welcome all of you to join. We are completely borderless, so everyone from ANZ and beyond, welcome to join in, because that's how we all keep
don't
in
think
touch.
I'm in that group.
That's, well, you didn't ask.
I need to get in that.
We're going to get you there. But it's about building that so we can all
Yeah.
keep in touch, and it's not just a one and done event. It's how are we really saying, let's tackle these important questions, let's expose those opportunities.
It does.
You've got folks like Frank saying, hey, guess what, I'm hiring. Well, let's point out some amazing females who could be wonderful solution architects to join the team.
And we've got a few, right?
We have a
We've got
few.
you
We
and-
have a few. We could always use more.
There
We
you go.
always could. And
Yeah.
what I'm super excited about is about having role models. You really need to have someone in the community who's at the front of the herd,
You
showing,
can't be
leading
what you
by example.
can't see.
So true. So true. So, next buzzword that actually got me going was graph databases.
Yes.
And graphs in general. I mean, I think they're absolutely awesome. I think the industry is waking up to do many of the use cases. But tell us about what your take is on graph databases and how valuable they can actually be to what you're seeing and what you're doing in your business.
Oh, absolutely. And graphs are tremendously powerful. If you haven't checked out Neptune, absolutely do. We've got
Great
Gabe
service.
having a session the day after tomorrow, so take a look at that. But what graphs give you the ability to do is discover. when you don't know what you don't know, and I want to find out, help me understand, when you want context around what's happening, you can do that kind of discovery, you can do that kind of connection with a graph database that a lot of relational databases just simply don't let you do, or you get to these completely burdensome SQL queries that just like,
I had a flashback there, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah,
It's
and
okay.
to go
It's okay.
completely nerdy on you, I mean, if you're nested queries 3 or 4 deep,
It's not
the
worth it.
performance
You
just
can't.
kills a traditional
Well,
database,
and
right?
then you're guided on I only have to look at this in this way, which is what graphs open up.
Yeah.
And what you need to understand is the ability that we have today with products like Neptune and other things is the scale, the ability, the speed, the ease of starting them is so much different. When our founding team met about 10 years ago, we were doing semantic news search.
Right.
We could have 3 months of news content. It was basically 4 days late. And here's what you've got. I'm like, guys, we can't operate on that. But the cost was too high, the performance was too slow. And all of that has completely changed. So I wish that more folks would just see the opportunities and the possibilities of what you can do with
Well, speaking
graph.
of possibilities, I mean, graphs are great for social graphs.
Yep.
Right, so great at databases. And we could always build social graphs for a diversity community.
Yeah.
Right, social engineering, what else, where can we find the next set of speakers or next set of talent? All those things could certainly be data mined out of those awesome
I
huge
wanted
data
to
sets.
ask you about that on the speakers in particular, because I know it's something we're both passionate about, is getting more women involved in speaking at events like
Totally.
this.
Right.
Yes. So how would you recommend people get started if they want to talk and they're a little bit afraid to put their hand up?
So first thing you do, absolutely reach out to me. Something that was really impressive when we had the She Built events where women saying, so can I speak next? We want to put you up on stage. We don't want to have the same 3 people rotated because our community is much broader than
So
that.
how do we find you?
How do you find me?
Yeah.
On Twitter, @Aileen Gemma. LinkedIn, Aileen Gemma Smith.
Awesome.
Obviously, Visualytics webpage. But don't be afraid to ask. Don't feel that, oh my goodness, if I haven't spoken at the TED conference, then I can't. Like, no. Do you believe in what you do?
Every meetup organizer in
Absolutely.
Australia is desperate for content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So don't be afraid to reach out. And if you're nervous, reach out to me anyway. I'll help you. We can build up your confidence.
Oh, that'd be great.
Awesome. Any
Really cool.
particular technology domains you think we should focus on, like maybe serverless?
She's
or?
a massive serverless nerd.
I know, that's why I'm
Oh my
asking.
gosh, all right.
Serverless.
You
So
said
why
it.
serverless?
Because it makes things easier. Instead
does.
of going to monolithic problem where the engineers are like, no, okay, 3 weeks, forget about it.
Uh-huh.
You can actually say, I want this discrete bit, we're going to take it out, we're going to fix it, we're going to change things to it, we want to see what happens if, and the rest of the system isn't compromised. So the fact that you can do that changes how you think about, now I want to scale out the system, now I want to build something in, now I need to do something differently.
Yeah, very cool. And look, somebody many years ago actually, when servers came out, taught me this really cool concept of the micro sprint. It's when you actually hack out a Lambda function or some kind of serverless component, and instead of like I said, break the whole monolith and have a 3-day or 3-hour downtime.
Right.
Hack in the morning for an hour, change a bit of code, and keep doing it throughout the day. Before you know it, you've made a whole transformational change to your whole platform.
Now,
Absolutely.
folks, don't be afraid to throw me your questions I can put to Aileen. Hit them on the Twitch channel.
And suggestions for sessions. We absolutely want to hear from
Yep.
the community, right? Building community is about what is this for you? Not just us giving to you, but us absolutely embracing and listening to what the needs are.
If only we had like a community day.
I know.
Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be so cool.
I think I may be able
Shall we hold these up?
to help
Hang
you on that.
That's my one, that's your one.
All right, are
You
you
got
ready?
the QR code on that one.
Okay.
So what is this all
First
about?
time that I am announcing, we are having our very next AWS
You hear it here
Community
first.
Day. You are hearing it first. It is going to be on August 30th of this year at the Melbourne the Melbourne Conference and Exhibition Center. And we are very pleased and humbled and honored to announce our keynote speaker is AWS's very own Chief Evangelist and VP, Mr. Jeff Barr.
Hashtag purple hair Jeff.
Which also
Hashtag-
matches our
Oh,
t-shirts
that's our
today,
shirts
right?
today.
Jeff's
So
purple
So thank
fan.
you, Jeff, for committing for this. We are still looking for more speakers, more folks to be a part of that community day. This is going to be a full day event, so this is for everyone. There'll be a little bit of building, a little bit of hacking, a little
kind
bit
of
of
talks are you looking
fireside.
for?
I want the whole gamut. I
Yeah.
want everything from we're talking AI and ML to we're talking serverless to here are challenges that folks are seeing in tech where we're on that path to diversity and inclusion, but we're not quite there yet. And what do you do, and how are we either enabling those changes, or how do we deal with those challenges? So this is a day for everyone, so whether you're a student, whether you're an early stage developer, whether you're later stage in your career, you're all absolutely welcome. And we just want you all to be there. This will be the second event that we're hosting of this scope and size, so think about joining us.
Awesome. So Aileen, given that this is Innovation Day today, and it's all about disruption, thinking big,
Yep.
what is think big for you in the community context? I mean, how do we get from a 10% to 100%? is 110%. Let's think even bigger.
Absolutely. So part of that is being very intentional in how
Totally.
you're doing reaching out and understanding where you are along that whole journey. So in my spare time, I work with high school and university students, the non-sleep.
So weekends, you don't sleep.
Yeah, well, it's
that
overrated.
kind of stuff. Yep.
But how we're really thinking about, from a young age, engaging with students, saying, you can belong, this is a part of what you can do, and guess what? Here's things that you can do, and it's not just limited to a particular, the guys do this. I heard a wonderful quote from Megan Smith. She's the former CTO of the United States, and someone said, the girls build rockets, the boys build planes. Right, so we should think about it as everyone is involved. So if we're building community, you're starting with, I don't know, maybe you've got a kid that's in primary school. How are you talking to them about this is what this means? Maybe you're working in university. You're joining a hackathon. Are you going to events saying, we can be out there, let me represent females in tech. Let me make sure we're giving the platform and the opportunity for everyone to speak.
And I think it's really important to make sure that people don't expect somebody else to do it. You gotta roll up your sleeves.
Yeah, if it's
what
not
you
me,
put
who's
in
going to
is
do
what
this?
you get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and speaking of the community stuff, sorry, what I was going to say, Robo-Gals. I actually brought them to my son's school, and the girls had an awesome time building robots out of Lego. So don't be afraid to actually, recommend some of these awesome organizations and communities that are doing some great work.
If we're giving shout outs, the Girls Programming Network just did 2 days this weekend where they taught hundreds of girls to program in Sydney. They're always looking for volunteers. I help out with Girl Geek Sydney. We run an all-women hackathon, She Hacks, every year. We're going to be doing it again this year. Lots of opportunities to get involved.
Yeah.
And I want to have more women community heroes. How do they become a community hero?
Yes, what's the secret?
Be driven. Say, I want to build something, and look, here I am going out, I'm reaching out, I'm connecting to folks. Again, community heroes are a rare and unique opportunity to say, I believe in this and I want to be able to do more. And part of the privilege of being a hero for me is how much support that AWS gives us to accomplish and do things, to say, yes, we're going to have She Builds events all throughout Australia and New Zealand. Yes, we're going to have this massive community day. That happens when you have a whole network of support underneath you, and that's why I'm grateful and
It's not
privileged
just
to be
about
part
the
of it.
bling.
No, I mean, but hey, you could get one of these.
You can get one of
That's
those.
pretty snazzy. I want one of those, right?
Yeah. And we are doing more sessions with you, and we do have sessions with the other community heroes throughout the day, throughout the 2 days, and we're having a group session with the community heroes as well.
Yes. Please join us for those.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, can we just zoom in on this awesome tag? Because when I saw it, I was very impressed. Can we see that? Cool. So you could have one of those
really
if you
heavy.
get involved.
Yeah. But then you also get connected to a network of heroes throughout the globe, right? So we've got
Honors and privileges.
But think about discovering, saying, I want to understand when I'm working with community heroes that are based in Japan. I lived in Tokyo for 12 years. What's happening there? What's happening in Shanghai? What's happening in Philadelphia? What's happening in Canada?
Totally.
You can start to think about this in a very global way, and how we're all doing different things to build those different kinds of
Lynn
communities.
Langett, she's one of our heroes,
Yes.
and yes, I love Lynn. She's fantastic.
And we've got more community heroes coming on stage over the next few days. So, Aileen, thank you so much for joining us. I get super excited about the community as well as finding the next generation that's going to be. So let's think big. Maybe next year, guys,
Build
we
some
can
rockets.
get even more girls up on stage.
Absolutely.
How about we get some girls from schools?
That'd be
Yes.
amazing.
Would that be
the
awesome?
education track is happening.
Yeah, we got that. But I'd
Hundreds of
love to
youth
maybe
students.
get some kids showing what
Yeah.
they've built, showcasing that as the next generation of leaders.
I will take you up on that offer.
Let's
we will
shake on it.
make that a part of
All right,
our
you
community
saw it
day.
in,
witnessing this.
And if you are students
Live.
and you want to build, come, reach out to us,
How do we
and
find
we
you
will
again?
do that. At Aileen Gemma on Twitter, Aileen Gemma Smith on LinkedIn, and I look forward to being in
Thanks
touch.
for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. Guys, keep watching. We're not going away. We're going to have This Is Your Architecture coming up momentarily. Keep watching. You're watching the live stream from the Sydney Summit. And make sure if you're here, you walk around, tap on the back of the stage. We're going to be able to provide you offline access to all the content, all the code, and everything else that we've been talking about over the last few days.
Come get some stickers.
And get some stickers and some cool t-shirts too. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.